Hello and welcome back to the channel. Steuben here, and today we've got some gameplay between Boltund VMAX and the new Gengar VMAX single strike deck, both coming out of Fusion Strike. Gameplay here is going to be sped up for the sake of time, and I will do my best to navigate you through these uncharted waters for myself and my friend Brock, who joined me for an afternoon and evening full of Pokemon TCG. We begin, and Brock is up first, drawing for his turn here, and I believe he just goes ahead and plays a Hiding Dark Energy. We mess around with the zones here, goofing off, saying, we're not going to follow the card zones on the playmat. So yep, there comes the Hiding Dark Energy onto the Gengar, giving it 2 less retreat. Then he passes it over to me. I attach a Speed Lightning Energy, and then here I think I just play a Marnie, shuffling my hand back into the deck, getting 5 new cards, and forcing Brock to a 4-card hand. I bench a Boltund, a Mareep, play a Stormy Mountains, grabbing another Mareep from the deck. Using Electrify from the active onto the bench Boltund, attaching 2 Lightning Energy to the bench Boltund. Brock goes ahead and uses Evolution Incense, searching for an evolution card. Really takes a good moment to search through the deck and check what he's got prized. Again, these lists he did not come up with. I built both of these decks, and I provided, the cards to use and the proxies until we get the rest of the stuff. So this is his first run with these decks, so he's going to be a little bit more cautious with his searching and his plays, as he's not 100% aware of the contents of the deck by memory. He evolves the active Gengar and then bumps the stadium out with the Tower of Darkness. It proceeds to then attach a single strike energy to the Gengar here. So it's just 1 energy away. And he's going to go ahead and bench a Crobat V using Dark Asset to draw up to 6 cards in hand. Benching another Houndour here. He's got the Houndoom in hand as well. He's double checking his options here. He's going to go ahead and use Single Strike Roar onto the Gengar in the active, getting another Single Strike energy from the deck, placing 2 damage counters down on it. So yeah, this Gengar on its second turn is fully loaded, ready to go, capping out at 290 damage. Super aggressive. So seems so much easier to set up compared to a single strike Urshifu VMAX. He goes ahead and discards a Tower of Darkness to use the Tower of Darkness in play to draw 2 cards. And from here, this is where he kind of like really pops off for setting up. Getting another Houndour down. And just looking into the drawbacks of the Gengar. I assumed he was attacking here as he was reading the attack. But he's going to go ahead and bench the Umbreon to bring up the Boltund V from the bench that has the energy attached to it, and then knocking it out. Really getting rid of some of my energy in play. I start off with promoting the Boltund, playing an Evolution Incense to grab the Boltund VMAX from the deck, attaching an energy and playing Research to get a fresh 7 from 0. Go ahead and bench a Flaffy and a Zekrom, using Dynamotor from Flaffy to attach a Lightning Energy to the Zekrom from the discard pile. Another Evolution Incense to grab yet another Flaffy. So I'm at least able to recover some of the energy cards that he took out from last turn. Quick ball away the Research that I have in hand to grab a Crobat. I attach an Air Balloon to one of the Flaffy here. Benching the Crobat Dark Gas setting for 5. Bumping out the Stadium with the Stormy Mountains here. And just benching from the hand of Boltund instead of using Stormy Mountains. So I'm capped out at my damage here. I'm only hitting for 150 at this point. So we, Lightning Storm here for 150, putting the Gengar up to 170. And here he's just contemplating what to do, knowing that if he, switches out, resets the Gengar's not attack clause, putting a Hiding Dark down onto the Umbreon VMAX in the bench, playing a Quick Ball, discarding away a boss. Grabbing a Houndour here, just really thinning the deck out, making it a lot easier to draw the cards that he wants to draw. Go ahead and play research here, and getting rid of those cards that he thinned out with that Quick Ball like that. Houndour to get a full 7 new cards. At this point, really just looking for a switch. Takes a minute to contemplate what he's got going on, but he does find the switch in the 7. Promoting the Umbreon, retreating again because of the Hiding Dark energy, removing the retreat cost from it. Bring that Gengar back up to the active, so that resets its ability to attack. And yeah, he hits me for 290 there with the Gengar. I started with a Speed Lighting energy onto the Boltund, drawing more cards. Playing an Evolution Incense, grabbing another Boltund VMAX here. I'll go ahead and put an Air Balloon on the Boltund VMAX in the active. And another Balloon on the Flaffy, and yet another Professor's Research here. Getting another new 7 cards from the top of the deck. I go for a Dynamotor onto the Boltund VMAX. Quick Ball away another Lightning Energy to grab another Mareep, thinning the deck out even further. I use the new Dynamotor from the second Flaffy over to the Zekrom, and then here I retreat the Boltund VMAX out with the fresh one from the bench. And I go ahead and attack, taking the KO on the Gengar, taking 3 prize cards. Brock promotes the Umbreon here with the Hiding Dark. So again, it can pivot for free. Playing a Quick Ball from his hand. Discarding, I believe, a Professor's Research. Double checking his hand, but I think here he grabs an Umbreon. But then proceeds to end up discarding it anyways. Yep, there's the Umbreon from the Quick Ball. Benches a Gengar instead. Plays the Urn of Vitality, shuffling 2 single strike energy from the discard pile back into the deck. Before he does that, though, he's just going to go ahead and use the ability there to accelerate it from the Houndoom onto the Houndour, putting 2 damage counters on it. This is a really cheeky play that he's got coming up here. That Houndour will do 40 damage now thanks to the single strike energy. The Boltund VMAX on the bench only has 30 HP remaining. Here's the boss's orders to bring that back up to the active. Umbreon can retrieve for free thanks to Hiding Dark energy. And Houndour taking the 3 prize knockout with some chip damage to really swing that game back in the favor of Brock here. I promote a Flaffy to start. And at this point in time, I'm thinking, all right, cool. He doesn't have it doesn't have an Umbreon ready to go. He's not gonna have a boss here. So if I bench another Boltund, I can load up onto it with Dynamotor and then potentially just come swinging in with the active I've got now, and then next turn pivot around if I have to prevent another knockout on that Boltund VMAX. Buying a little bit of time here. So I Speed Lighting and then Dynamotor. Both on the fresh Boltund. Treat the Flaffy because I have the air balloon attached to it. Promote the Boltund VMAX. And then I think here I just take a KO after playing a Marnie. The rest of my hand after this, I don't think it's very eventful. I get a fresh 5, put in his hand underneath after taking those 3 prize cards to shrink him down to 4. And then, yep, Boltund just takes the KO on the Houndour. And again, here comes the Umbreon up to the active because of the Hiding Dark Energy. That free pivot in this deck is absolutely insane. Being able to not have to worry about like playing Fighting Energy or Capture Energy in this single strike deck. It just seems so much more consistent and more powerful between, you know, single strike energy and Hiding Dark. Contemplating the turn attachment onto the Gengar here. But he goes ahead and does it. Plays a tower, gets rid of the Stormy Mountains. Uses the single strike Roar from the Houndoom. Oh, I'm sorry, that was actually a level ball. I missed that. Yeah, he played a level ball here and failed it. Now he's using the Houndoom. Using the level ball is a good way to check and see if you have extra energy still in the deck. And in this case too, always you know, thin out the deck when you can. That way later in the game, you don't draw dead cards. All the Houndours are gone. Or in his hand already, or in the discard pile, or, you know, evolved. So the copies of level ball pretty much are duds at this point. Now if I play a Marnie and it goes back into the deck and you draw it again, it's just one less card you have to hit your outs. He goes ahead and hits me with the Marnie back, putting me down to 4. I believe I had a boss before I was Marnied here. He's got an Evolution Incense. At this point in time, I believe he's going to grab the other Gengar VMAX and just hold it in his hand. Now he grabs the Houndoom here. Pretty good. And then he plays another Evolution Incense and then grabs the VMAX, yes. Double checks the discard pile here. Evolves the Houndour into the Houndoom. Uses the tower, discards an Umbreon to draw 2. Plays another level ball, and I believe just instantly shuffles the deck to fail that one here. Again, burning these cards that he doesn't need at this point in time. It's always a good tool to use to check your deck as well. Brock goes ahead and checks my discard pile. Probably looking for boss's orders at this point to see how many I've gone through. Evolving the Gengar into the VMAX. Retreating, promoting the Gengar here. Hits with the first attack for a big whopping 1 or 220, I believe. And then I had the boss in hand to bring up the Crobat for game. Right on. All right, and now we've got game 2 here. We're going to go ahead and get shuffled up. And I got the lighting a little bit better. You know, most of the things I do are impromptu. I did get to play with the new camera for a little bit while recording these matches here. My sister graced me with the option to use one of her Canon Rebel cameras for a hot minute. So I did enjoy the enhanced quality. I don't quite know what I'm doing with a DSLR yet in my hands, but it is something I do want to learn about and maybe get one of my own in the future here. If you want to help support the channel by any means, come over to Twitch, subscribe over there, or you can follow me on Twitter, social media, all that nonsense. Join us on Patreon, and patrons will help pave the way for more tabletop content, including things like a overhead rig and a new camera to even further the gameplay as well. for your viewing pleasure. All right, so losing the match, Brock decides to go first. I've got a Boltund in the active. He's got a Houndour. Playing a Quick Ball on his end. Discarding a Professor's Research to search the deck. Really taking a good look through. Brock's really good about checking his prize cards. After playing that first game, he really does pilot this match a little bit better overall. Not to say that the last one was flawed at all, but, you know, he's a very experienced player, and the more time he's got with a deck, the better he gets with it. So he's going to go ahead and grab a Gengar V from that Quick Ball. Really just wants to get set up as soon as possible here with this deck. Attaching a Hiding Dark Energy to the Gengar. Attaching an Air Balloon to the Houndour. Retreating to the Gengar. And then passes it over to me. I start off with a Boltund on the bench, a Speed Lighting Energy to the active, drawing 2 cards. An Air Balloon on the benched Boltund, and discarding my hand with a Professor's Research to draw 7 new cards. I'll go ahead and play a Quick Ball down. And I'm contemplating what to discard here. So I'm going to discard a Marnie with that Quick Ball. Double checking my hand, really thinking about what I'm going to grab here. I grab a Mareep. If you know me and you follow the Twitch channel, you know we refer to the community as the Sheep Squad. And any opportunity that I can take to play Mareep and Flaffy in a deck, even if it's not like uber competitive, it's a lot of fun for me to be able to play with my favorite Pokemon. So I put down a path to lock out abilities and then use Electrify to attach 2 energy to the Boltund V on the bench. And he bumps that out right out of the gate with the tower, evolving the Gengar, attaching another Hiding Dark Energy, and playing a Professor's Research. At this point in time, he just needs to find an Evolution Incense or a Houndoom to really just gas out these Boltunds at this point in time. The Gengar's ability for pure aggression is absolutely insane. We see him bench a Umbreon V. We're having a little conversation at this point in time. Again, it's the first time we got to see each other since the pandemic started, so it's been a lot of fun to catch up and play. Benching another Gengar, playing a level ball, grabbing another Houndour. Evolving the Houndour into a Houndoom, using the ability, getting the energy, attaching it to the Gengar. And yeah, this is really like where this game really picks up for Brock here. That turn to knockout aggression, as we've seen in that last match as well. With my poor board state this time, I don't think I'm able to recover from this one here. Gengar coming in, hitting for 270 on the Boltund V, knocking it out. Taking a 2-prize lead. Oh, we see the Marnie there that he picked up and put in his hand. I promote the Boltund, bench a new Boltund, play an Evolution Incense, grabbing the Boltund VMAX. Play a Professor's Research, discard 2 cards from a hand, and draw a fresh 7 there. Put a Stormy Mountain down, then bump that Stadium out, evolve Mareep into Flaffy. Looking for a Dynamotor here under the benched Boltund V. Using the Stormy Mountains to get another Mareep down. Contemplating my play here. Attaching a energy for turn to the Boltund V on the bench. Playing a Quick Ball, discarding away Marnie here. Grabbing a Crobat V. Really contemplating my play out. Playing another Quick Ball, discarding Lightning Energy, grabbing yet another Mareep. Really getting the sheepies in full effect here. I am capped out pretty hard on damage, but I go ahead and I believe I just attack here for a whopping 150, just like we did the last time in the previous game. And he's off. Thinking about what he's got going on here. Again, all he needs to do really is reset and maybe boss around and really get some momentum here. Heavily contemplating some plays, starting off with an evolution incense. Again, we did a lot of BS and a lot of catching up, so there are some points of delay in these games. Again, I did speed this up a little bit for the sake of commentary and the speed of the content. He's gonna go ahead and grab a Houndoom from that evolution incense. Evolving the Houndour. Double check and discard pile here. Putting a Vitality ban on the Gengar V. That Vitality ban really does kind of fix the math here. If you have the 3 single strike energy and a Vitality ban, you're able to hit for 320 to one-shot a lot of other VMAXs in the format. It's really nice. We also decided that I feel like in the future this deck will get a scroll added into it. So we gotta really figure out what we're doing here. Maybe cut a Houndoom potentially to fit a scroll in the future. Again, these deck lists will be posted in the next couple of days, either in the Discord or again later on in a video onto the channel. Or over on Patreon. I haven't decided yet, so bear with me. Follow me on all the socials. Alright, so we see the Roar putting energy onto the Gengar, and then a process of research from Brock, getting a fresh 7. We got a tower to bump out the Stormy Mountains. Plays a switch, promotes the Houndoom with the balloon, and retreats back because of the balloon for free, resetting the Gengar's ability to attack. Dropping the Umbreon down, gusting up the Boltund V with that Dark Signal ability, using the tower, discarding a tower, drawing 2 cards. Playing a Quick Ball. Discarding another tower, so there's a lot of towers out of the way here. Just gonna go ahead and grab another Houndour. Play an Evolution Incense. And another one and burns it in Quick Ball, and then discards that, and then grabs the Crobat. He's got no cards left in hand now, so he's going to be able to Dark Asset for a fresh 6. Pretty crazy draw and resource management here with the deck. Using another single strike Roar. Getting the energy and attaching to the Gengar V on the bench. Benching the Crobat, drawing 6 cards here. Playing another Level Ball. Grabbing the Houndour. Again, Brock really excels at sequencing his plays. It's just insane. Quick Ball, discarding the Houndour here. Grabbing an Umbreon from the deck. Again, thinning it out, making it so much easier for him to draw the cards that he wants to draw. Contemplating a turn attachment here. Attaching that Hiding Dark Energy to the Gengar, taking the knockout with the Gengar VMAX onto the Boltund V. I promote the Boltund VMAX, play an instance, grab a Flaffy, double check my deck, give it a good shuffle here. Again, this is the point where the Boltund VMAX deck really starts to fall apart. I attach the energy to the active to use that max lightning attack this time instead. Dynamotor onto the Flaffies themselves respectively and attack for 230 to take the KO onto the Boltund. From the Boltund onto the Gengar. Take 3 prize cards. Brock's got the boss for the Crobat, and that's game 2. Woo! Alright, let's head into the next one here. Alright, and now it is time for the third and final game in this series between Boltund and Gengar. Who will come out on top? I mean, I know, but I'm not going to tell you. You got to stay and find out. We both have a mulligan here. Gotta reset the shuffleization here. Get some new hands, potentially get some basics. We both really go to town here on the shuffling. Again, thank you all for hanging out and watching this first take. It's something different here that we haven't done on the YouTube channel in a hot minute. It feels really nice to have the drive to create content for the YouTube channel. And again, I appreciate all 900 and something subscribers. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And you'll help me motivate myself to promote more content for the channel here. And again, if you like what we do here, come over to Twitch. We play a lot of PTCGO. And we raffle off some codes and have a good time and goof off. Alright, I start with double Boltund. I got a quick ball, grabbing a Mareep, discarding lightning energy. I did lose that last game, so I did decide to play first. Boltund feels good setting up going first, and also it feels good going second with Electrify. Just like in the old Pikarom days. Alright, Brock really contemplates his hand. He benches down the Tower of Darkness into the stadium. Slot there. Playing a Marnie. Giving me a new hand. I only had 4 cards. He had a pretty rough hand, from what I can tell there. Really needing to play Marnie, not being able to play anything else is pretty rough. Alright, using the tower, discarding a tower, drawing 2 cards. Dropping down a Gengar V onto the bench. Really thinking about what he wants to do here. Playing a switch, promoting the Gengar, attaching the Hiding Dark Energy. Retreating back into the Hound Tower. Playing switch again, thinning his hand out to play the Crobat down and draw 5 new cards. Unfortunate, that's just the way it is sometimes, but hey, if you gotta move around to thin your hand out, this is it. Just gonna play a level ball, grabbing another Hound Tower, putting it down on the bench. Alright, playing a quick ball. Discarding away an Urn of Vitality here. Going through the deck. Taking a look. Grabbing an Umbreon V and putting it down on the bench. Alright, and then he passes it over to me. I draw for turn. Go ahead and Evolution Incense. Take a look through the deck here. Contemplating on grabbing the Boltund VMAX, and I do believe that is what I decide. Yep. I attach a speed, lightning energy, drawing 2 cards here. Bumping out that tower with a Stormy Mountains, using the effect of the Stormy Mountains to set down a Mareep onto the bench. Bench another Mareep and another Mareep. I have the full 4 stack of the Mareep on the bench. The full sheep squad is here. I go ahead and evolve the Boltund into the VMAX. Play a Marnie, put my 1 card hand on the bottom of my deck. Getting a new fresh 5 for me. He had the outs there. Another Gengar, a Hiding Dark, and a Research. Would have been pretty good for him to be able to attach the Hiding Dark, bench that Gengar, and play the Research and draw 7. But here I go ahead and evolve Flaffy. Get that Dynamotor off. And then here I just attack for 120 damage and pass it over to Brock. Another stadium bump coming back and forth. I feel like every other turn here we're bumping stadiums in this entire match. He's got an evolution incense. Really takes a second to contemplate what he's going to search for. Double checking his hand as well to see what else he can do this turn. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Gengar VMAX from that evolution incense. Playing a quick ball here. Discarding the switch. Grabbing another Gengar V from the deck. Evolving the active into the VMAX here. Evolving the Houndour into the Houndoom using Single Strike Roar, getting that Single Strike energy from the deck onto the Gengar. Making it so much easier to do a big swing there with some damage. Just going to go ahead and discard that Gengar he got with the quick ball for the tower, drawing 2 more cards. At this point in time, really just looking for that extra energy. Brock attaches the Hiding Dark energy reluctantly. Really reconsidering that. Decides to commit it. And hits Boltund for 270 with that Max Geist. I attach the Boltund, playing a switch to get that damaged one out of there to be able to attack with a fresh one. Research here. Discards my hand. Draw 7 new cards. Evolve Mareep into Flaffy. Mareep into Flaffy. Play Stormy Mountains down to bump that tower out so he can't draw any cards. Evolution Incense. I think here we grab the next Flaffy. And yes, again, the full sheep squad is here. If you know, you know. I double check my discard. I don't believe I have any energy in there to accelerate, which is very unfortunate at this point in time. And in here, I just hit for another 120. I'm sorry, 150 at this point. Putting that Gengar close to a KO. We're both still at 6 prizes. He has to be able to reset that Gengar again to attack with it one more time. Here comes the single strike roar from the Houndoom on the bench. Attaching it to a Houndour. It's going to go ahead and retreat that Gengar for free from the 2 hiding Dark Energy, removing the retreat cost, promoting the Houndour, and just hitting me with that bite for 40 thanks to the single strike energy's extra damage output. I go ahead and take a single knockout on that Houndour, taking the first prize of this game. Brock promotes back the Gengar here. Playing a quick ball. Contemplating his discard. Double checks his discard pile as well here. Discarding away an Umbreon VMAX. Grabbing another Houndour, putting it down to the bench. And then plays the Urn, shuffling that single strike energy into the deck. But is just going to go ahead and make it easy on himself to attach it to the active from the Darkness ability there on the Houndoom, the single strike roar. Racing his damage counters, but at this point in time now, that extra 40 damage, putting it up to 290 on the Gengar's attack, does knock out the Boltund here. Taking 3 prizes here. I promote the damaged Boltund VMAX at this point in time. Attach to a new Boltund, use the speed energy in hand, draw 2 cards. And then I believe we go ahead and start Dynamotoring. Put an air balloon on the damaged active. Retreat into the Boltund V here. Put an energy from my hand onto the Flaffy on the bench. And then I just go ahead and use Bolt Storm to take 3 prizes with the 2 prize Boltund V. Really forcing that boss play potentially from Brock here. Bolt Storm and Lightning Storm are pretty much the same attack other than the base damage. Boltund V does 10 plus. Boltund VMAX does 30 plus. Promoting the Umbreon, he starts off with a Evolution Incense. Grabbing that Houndoom from the deck. Most likely here going to evolve that Houndour into the Houndoom. Yep, there's the evolution. Another evolution incense. Grabbing another Houndoom. At this point, kind of just thinning out once again. Putting the Vitality Band onto the Houndoom and then discarding his hand with Professor's Research. Getting 7 new cards to work with here. New Gengar V coming down to the bench. Playing a tower to bump out the Stormy Mountains. Using the tower to discard an Umbreon to draw 2 new cards. Attaching a Hiding Dark to the Umbreon in the active spot here. Helps it get away if it needs to. Using the Single Strike Roar. Attaching to the Gengar. And using the second Single Strike Roar as well, attaching to the Gengar, putting 40 damage on it. But hey, it's got 2 energy now. Retreating the Umbreon, promoting the Houndoom. And here you see, I think I have the game pretty much wrapped up in my hand here. Gonna try and get through as much as possible, putting a Lightning Energy onto the Boltund, playing an Air Balloon, bossing up the Gengar, retreating into the new Boltund and using the Max Bolt attack for 230 damage, taking the game, putting that 2-0 in favor of Boltund V. For some closing thoughts, I will say that both decks performed pretty well. I do think the Gengar deck in a vacuum is better than the Boltund VMAX deck. Again, keep an eye out for profiles. Thanks again for hanging out. Again, my name is Steuben, and welcome to the channel. And if you've already been here for a long time, I appreciate you coming back and enjoying the content. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know all the socials. They'll be all in the description. Join the Discord, hang out with us, and keep an eye out for more content in the future on the channel here. Much love. Take it easy. Have a good one, and peace out.